Hello, it's Phil here for Digital DJ Tips with number 8 of our 10 commandments for better digital DJing. Today's commandment is don't steal music. Now, we've all done it. I remember when Napster first arrived and I can remember it clearly what it felt like. We were all sat there one evening and we were all DJs. We all spent most of our money and probably a little bit more on music. And we were all sat there having a drink and someone said, hey, you should see this program. It's you can get any music you want. Now back then we didn't have broadband. Back then we were on dial-up modems, 56 kilobytes a second I believe. And we sat there for 10-15 minutes waiting for one track to download. Then that track downloaded and we hit play and Winamp played the music back to us. And it blew our world apart. We spent all our time searching for music, all our time in second-hand record shops and hanging around the real record shops that waiting for the new releases and all this stuff. This was our life. All of a sudden, we could search for anything and then get it without spending any money. Well, the temptation was huge, and we downloaded music that we didn't own. We did it. And every single person I know did it. It felt a bit wrong, but we did it. I'm not telling you that I've never done it, and I'm not telling you that I'm holier than thou, but I am saying don't steal music. Things have moved on, and I'll explain very clearly why in a second, but if you set yourself a standard to always buy the music that you're DJing with, believe me, in the long run, it'll do you good. So let's look at why that might be the case. Firstly, it sounds better. Firstly, I can guarantee you that if you get all your music legally, your DJ sets will sound better. Now, we tell you to use your ears critically, to listen carefully to anything you have, so they should be a filter, but nonetheless, if you don't allow bad music files into your life and onto your hard drive, you're not going to DJ with bad music files. It's just not going to happen. If you get your music legally. Now, as you will know from looking at the sound quality commandment, that's not a guarantee of good music, and the really very best DJs, they do listen out for this stuff and they do improve on music files and they do make sure that everything they're playing sounds top of the pops. But this will help. Buying music will help. So buy your music for that reason, if nothing else. Second reason is it's a lot cheaper than it ever has been. The first record I ever bought cost me 99 pence in the UK. That's how much a 7-inch single cost. Now, 99 pence is probably about $1.50. That's the same price as buying a track nowadays. I bought that record, I hate to admit it, but I bought that record 30 years ago. Now, if music is the same price now as it was 30 years ago, believe me, that's got a lot cheaper. Music is maybe a fifth, a tenth of the price that it always used to be. And you can pick and choose. You can buy the tracks that you want and forget the rest. You don't need to buy the whole album anymore. In fact, this is something that I recommend to people now when they say, how can I get a hold on my record collection? How can I get a hold on my digital music? Because it's all, it's a mess. This is what I recommend to people to do. This is kind of the legal way of having a great music collection without spending all your income on it. And you'll get better records this way as well because you'll hear more. What I currently recommend is to sign up for one of the streaming music services. Now that could be Rhapsody, it could be Radio, RDIO, it could be Spotify if you have it wherever you are. I personally have Spotify. Any of the services that let you play music on demand, and they have anywhere between, they claim 8 to 12 million tracks. They've got a lot of music. They haven't got everything, but they've got a lot. Sign up to one of those and use that as part of your music discovery cycle, the thing you do. Use that to search for artists, because you can search by artist name, you can find a remix by someone and go and have a look at what other remixes they've done. So you can have and you can drag stuff into playlists, so you can sit there doing a music discovery hour, fill a playlist with a day's worth of music and just click shuffle and it'll play it. And then when you hear stuff that you like, you can actually buy it from a lot of these applications straight in the application. Or you can make a note of it and go off and buy it in Beatport or wherever. So a streaming music service will allow you to be really sure that you want to buy a record, you want to buy a track in the first place. Then I recommend only buying the tracks that you want to use in your DJ set. Because if you use a streaming service, it costs, I think it costs $9 a month or $10 a month for Spotify, the one I use. They're all about the same. If you use that, you never have to buy the stuff that you just like to listen to in the background, because you're not going to DJ with it. You don't need a copy on your DJing equipment in your DJing software. You could just listen to it on that service. You can have playlists, you can have favourite albums. You don't need to own a copy of it. You can listen to it on your iPhone or on your Android phone. And so you're only buying, really, the stuff that you want to DJ with. The rest of it you've got on a streaming service. It's costing you a couple of dollars a month, you know, it's not costing you very much. Now this won't be for everyone, but it certainly works for me. And then I only buy the tunes that I'm going to DJ with, and I might buy 5 records a week, 6 records a week, most. And that does for me. So I'm spending $10 a week on music, and I'm spending $10 a month on a streaming radio service. And believe me, I'm drowning in music here. It's paradise for me. I have music on whenever I can. It's always new stuff to listen to. I'm always excited to turn music on in this office, and when I'm DJing, it works for me. And for that outlay in money, you're not stealing music, you're getting everything you want. But there's more ways. So music's a lot cheaper. There's no, really, if you have a good music discovery system, you shouldn't really need to steal anything. It's not like when you're paying $15 or $20 for one 12-inch record because you like one track on it. You know, I can see the temptation for DJs in that instance when it costs you $150 a week just to put some new tunes in your box. Well, I'm not saying it's right, but you can see the temptation, but really it doesn't, and it shouldn't. So the second thing I wanted to say was there's so much free music out there now, and the actual act of going out and finding that free music will improve your DJing and will improve your music collection. Let me tell you why. The artists know that giving away music is a good thing because you'll come back and buy music later. That's kind of the new model in music. So you hang around with your artists online, you hang around with the people you like, the remixes and the producers you like, the DJs you like, you join their Facebook, you join their Twitter, you follow them on SoundCloud. You're going to get free music coming out of your ears. If you've got a SoundCloud account, I recommend you go and have a look at the inbox, the incoming tracks. There's a thing called incoming tracks on SoundCloud. Believe me, the number of DJs who've got SoundCloud who have never clicked on that tag. And I know that because I did it myself, and I was amazed. I found that tag and clicked on it, and there were about 6 months worth of tunes that had been sent to me by producers who I follow or who I'm involved with on SoundCloud, because people give away music on SoundCloud. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I'd left it that long. And there's this whole pile of free music just piling up to listen to. So if you're on SoundCloud, if you're not, join up. Start following people. I put a post in the resources about how to use SoundCloud. It's actually about how to promote your own music on SoundCloud. However, it works, you can reverse it and you can find other people's music that way. I'll quote it in the resources. But get on SoundCloud and start following people, and you will be amazed at the amount of tracks you can just download, because they're legal to download. The person who put them up there is saying, here's a new track, feel free. And B, the number of people who send you music. But also there's a third way on SoundCloud, which I do all the time, which is just to send a polite contact email or find the person on Twitter or whatever, send them a SoundCloud message. I'm not even sure if you can send SoundCloud messages, I'm sure you can. And just say, I like your track. Please can I have a copy? Here's my email address. I've never been turned down yet. I've got lots of music just by asking. You know, when you find a track on SoundCloud and you can't download it, don't stop there, just go and ask the person and you'll be amazed. So there's another way of getting free music. So there's a lot of free music. If you only buy the stuff that you want, it won't cost you very much anyway. And really the third point, and I guess the main point, is it's wrong to take music. There's always, I hope you have that little feeling that says I shouldn't be doing this, because it's wrong. You know, they're real people. They're people like you making this stuff. You might this time next year, you might be making music if you're not already. And all of a sudden, you realise that you actually would quite like to get paid when that record goes up into iTunes or that record goes up on Beatport. You quite like people to pay you for the work that you put in there. And the quality of music is going to suffer if people keep stealing it. Now, I personally feel that the record industry was making too much money, and I feel the record industry has taken a kicking over the last decade but I think it's swinging back. I think the new models and the new ways of distributing music and the new ways of sharing music do allow the artists to be paid fairly, the record companies to take enough to make it worth their while, and you to get music at a decent price. And I truly believe piracy among professionals is on the way out. It's for all the reasons I've just said. So the final point really, and I'm not sure whether this is happening in your territory or whether you've heard of people that this has happened to, but we've heard stories here of DJs turning up to play and having their MP3s and having their hard drives audited. People turn up and check where the music came from. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'd love you to let us know if you've heard of that kind of thing going on. But just another worry that you don't need. You don't want that. And technically, you are putting the licensee, the person who holds the license for the place where you're playing, so it would be I guess the manager or the owner of the venue. Technically, certainly in some territories, you are breaking the law on his behalf, if you like. He's breaking the law by allowing you to play with pirated music. It's a whole legal minefield, it's a whole grey area, but do you really want to be involved in it? So for all those reasons, but mainly for the reason that people should get paid for the work they put in to make these great tracks, please don't steal music. Have a big think about it and try and do the right thing, because it's the only way that together we're going to have a great DJing scene and have great music to play this time in 1, 5, 10 years without it suffering from piracy. So there you go, that's our 9th commandment, and the next video has our 10th and final commandment. So thanks for watching.